What's the greatest lesson you learned in the last year of working these two jobs? As you transition out of this job, what was the greatest lesson of overworking what it sounds like you were doing?
That success does not equal happiness.
Ooh.
I remember when, I think it was 3 years ago, I had signed my highest draft pick ever. I had won like Woman of the Year, and, you know, had a #1 overall pick in softball. I had all these amazing things happening, made more money than I've ever made. And I remember looking back, I had made a birthday post actually, like, oh, here's all the great things I did this year. I remember being like, man, this is the least happy I've ever been. And so I think I learned really quickly that success and happiness, I mean, people try to conflate those terms, they're very different. You can be successful and not be happy. And so for me, the milestones don't make me happy. I'm very much a journey girl, right? The journey, it's all about, I want to get there, I want to get there. When I finally hit the goal, it's real anticlimactic for me. It's almost depressing. It's like, okay, I did it, now what? So it was really a wake-up call. And what I'm trying to do is learn how to be present in the moment when I hit the goal, be okay with like, okay, I hit the goal, let's celebrate it. Like instead of it going, kind of being like, well, what's next? Like taking a moment to really take it in.
Celebrating the success and the accomplishment of the years of hard work is so important.
It is. But for me, it's always like, okay, well, what's the next goal? What's the next step? And that's unhealthy.
Right.
You know, you need to be able to be okay with celebrating what you've done and taking a moment to live in that moment before going to the next.
Yeah, I think success doesn't equal happiness, but also, I think also you can still be happy and successful at the same time. You can,
exactly. But it doesn't, you know, it's different, and people think once I hit success, then I will be happy. You've got to find happiness separately.
Before you become successful, be happy, and success will add to it. It's more fun.
Exactly. It's really joy, right? Happiness is about what's happening. Joy is eternal.
How much joy do you feel on a daily basis?
It's something I'm working on. It's something I'm working on. You know, I feel it, but my mom, I watch her. She doesn't have much. She never had much, but she's always just so joyful, right? She doesn't have 2 pennies to rub together, but there's no one I've met who just is happier to be alive than her. And so, you know, I look at her and I'm like, she doesn't have anything, and I have everything in her mind.
Interesting.
And our outlooks on life are just so different, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, it's something I'm working on. It's not like I'm not happy all day.
Right.
You know.
What's the greatest lesson your mom's taught you?
I mean, she instilled in me my faith. You know, I'm really blessed to have learned about Jesus from my mom. You know, she gave me nothing else except, you know, how to worship Jesus and how to be a giver. Those are the 2 things, but I feel like they were the most important gifts of my life.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What about greatest lesson from your dad?
That's a tough one. He's an immigrant, you know, he came over here with nothing and, you know, had to hustle. He definitely taught me you have to survive. You know, you gotta, no matter what the circumstances are, he kind of taught me to survive. You know, I knew how to survive as a kid. I think now that I'm older, I'm trying to go from surviving to thriving. You know, stop living in a survival mode, because I can do that. I can do that well. Learned how to do that. So it's like, okay, now how about thriving? And like you said, living in abundance and being okay with spending your money and enjoying the moment versus just surviving, getting to the next point.
Before the interview continues, if you feel like you're not living your most authentic life, not leaning into your purpose, and not living the life that your future self would be extremely proud of, I've written a new book called The Greatness Mindset, and I think you're gonna love this. Through powerful stories, science-backed strategies, and step-by-step guidance, The Greatness Mindset will help you overcome all the different challenges in your life to design the life of your dreams and then turn it into your reality. Make sure to click the link below in the description to get your copy today. Okay, let's get back to this video. What's your thoughts on and your strategies on building a personal brand? Because you weren't like an influencer or a content creator. You were like working at a law firm and then, you know, like representing other personal brands, essentially, other athletes and influencers. So how did you learn to build your own personal brand, and why is it important for every individual to build their personal brand, whether in a corporation or not?
Actually, I have a whole chapter on this in my book about building a brand. I believe every professional is a brand, lawyers, doctors, etc. I think we always look at entrepreneurs and influencers as the people that have brands. Once I learned that we're all brands, it really changed my career. You know, I decided to build a brand because I wanted to get athletes to come to me. I didn't have time to recruit like other agents because I had another job. And so I had to get creative, and I thought, okay, if I have a brand where I'm a household name, where when somebody thinks of a sports agent, I'm the first name or one of the first names that comes to mind, then I've done it right.
How'd you do that?
Man, it starts with picking out your pillars of your brand, right? I think every brand has a few pillars, and everything you do falls under those pillars. Like for me, it's sports, and it's women empowerment and mentorship. And so when I'm posting on my social media or on my website, anything that is on that page is under one of my pillars.
Yeah.
And so finding what that brand kind of parameters are and then being consistent with it. You know, your followers and your fans, they sign up for something, giving them what they signed up for.
When did you start really going all in on kind of content and building a brand online?
I would say it's been about 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
When I first started. You know, it was a slow start, but I remember making a decision like, I'm going to be the first agent everyone thinks of. I'm going to make a decision. Like, it was very intentional. I'm about to build a brand as a sports agent, and it has not been done. And I think most people probably know of Jerry Maguire, the fictitious agent, and maybe 1 or 2 agents, but you can't name a sports agent just naturally.
Right.
And so I made the decision. I said, you know what? When people think of that, they're going to think of me.
That's cool.
But everyone should feel that way. If you're a baker, you want people to think of you first if they need a cake.
And do you think of like, okay, there's, I don't know, 20,000 sports agents. I'm just making up. How many are there? I don't know.
900 NFL agents.
Oh, 900
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm way off. But there's 1,000, let's say, agents. How do you think of like, I'm going to lean into my uniqueness? Like, use the differences or the uniqueness and the talents that I have and not try to be like the other agents, but just go all in obnoxiously on who I am? Is that what you think of?
100%.
Living
Living in my authentic self every single day.
Yeah.
I decided to show up exactly who I am every day. You know, and I think I wouldn't be on this podcast. I wouldn't have a book if I didn't make that decision day one that I was going to be me.
Right.
You know, I got a lot of advice early on to blend in, and I was like, you know what? I'm not taking that advice. I'm going to be who I am.
Yeah. There's a quote from a woman named Sally Hogshead who says, different is better than better. And being different is better than better because you're going to be unique, you're going to be stand out, you're going to be a one of a kind, and you may not be better than the best sports agent at this moment, but you're different, and that's better for you than being better.
I agree.
And I think if people can approach that and say, what makes me unique and how can I lean into that more and more? Like for me, I'm a big salsa dancer and I wasn't posting salsa stuff until recently, and it's getting the most engagement and comments, and people are like, post more of this.
Yep.
You know, playing guitar with my brother, who's an amazing jazz violinist, and they're like, post more of this. It's like, these are unique things for me that I haven't always shared, and I'm trying to lean into it more and more, and I I think
you are the secret sauce.
Exactly. No one else can do the talents that you have, the experience you have, the life you grew up from, the lessons, the whatever.
Even if you give them the recipe. If I give you my spaghetti recipe, the exact instructions, your sauce is still going to taste different.
Different.
I'm the secret sauce. You're the secret sauce.
Yeah. Exactly. And people are going to be attracted to you. I love this. What's a question you wish more people would ask you that they don't ask?
Oh, man, that's a good question. What do I wish they asked me but that they don't ask? How are you? How are you feeling?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling okay. I'm a little tired. I get a lot of questions about how to get in the business and like when I meet people, how to be a sports agent. And I think people forget like, hey, I'm a human, and you know, more of the like checking in, like, how are you doing? Like, where, you know, how's your mental health? How's your physical health? How's Nicole Lynn doing? Not agent Nicole Lynn. How's Nicole Lynn doing?
Personal Nicole Lynn,
Yeah, so I think people kind of forget about that. I'd say that.
That's what I'm going to do over the next 30 days.
Every day. How are you?
Once a week. No, once a week. Once a week I'm going to check in with you. We're going to create a list.
Oh my gosh.
Just send it to you.
August 1st.
August 1st. Yeah, we'll give it to August 1st, the start of the month.
Got to have the August one. You can't start it.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll do that August 1st. I'm going to text you.
I can do it.
Every week. I'm going to have you text me on the weekends when you've completed the week.
Okay.
I'm going to check in on you for 4 weeks. And see
I'm going to be like at NFL training camp. I'm going to be working out in the hotel.
Work out with the guys, you know? It's just like, I'll jump in there. Exactly.
Kill them. I
love this. You've got this book we've been talking about called Agent You. Show up, do the work, and succeed in your own terms. People can get it online. They can go to bookstores. Where's a place they can connect with you personally? And where's the website for more about you?
AgentNicoleLynn.com or Agent Nicole Lynn on Twitter, Instagram.
Where do you hang out more, Twitter, Instagram, or both?
I'd say both. You know, Twitter, it's heavy sports. So if you like sports, Instagram, you'll get mostly sports, but, you know, mentorship. I like to post kind of the blueprint of how I am a sports agent.
That's cool.
You know, if
Yeah.
you ever want to get into sports, I put all the tips on my page.
That's cool. Yeah, it's fun. And I see my guy Emmanuel and Sarah both on the back praising for you, both friends of mine, so it's inspiring to see.
Gabrielle Union wrote the foreword.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Where's her name on here?
I know, she's a good.
You got to put her name on the front.
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying? Forward by Gabby Union.
Yeah.
You gotta leverage that. That's good.
Yeah.
Good marketing. This is a question I ask everyone at the end of our interviews called the 3 truths
Okay.
question. So I'd like you to imagine a hypothetical scenario.
Okay.
It's your last day on earth many years away from now.
It's really sad.
It
It's
is.
the most depressing
No,
interview of my life.
you lived as long as you want to live.
Okay, 200 years.
Perfect. You lived 200.
Clearly.
And then it's your last day.
Okay.
Eventually you got to call it quits, right?
Okay.
On this life. And you've accomplished all your dreams. You've lived the life that you want to live. You do self-care every day. You're helping athletes. You're doing all these, whatever your dream life is, and you actually create it
Okay.
from here until whenever you pass. But for whatever reason, you've got to take all of your materials with you, or it's got to go somewhere else. So your book, your content, the things you've said, no one has access to this anymore. It goes to the next place, somewhere else. But you get a piece of paper and a pen, and you get to write down 3 things you know to be true, 3 lessons. And this is all we would have to be reminded of you from all of your work and all of your material, of these 3 lessons that you would share with the world.
Wow.
That they would have to use in whatever they wanted to use. What would you say are those 3 truths for you?
God is real.
Mm-hmm.
The second truth is that finding your purpose is the most important mission of your life. And the third, marry the right person. Marry the right person.
Man, why does that seem to be so hard for so many people?
It's tough. People are always like, how are you so successful? What's the number one thing you can tell me to do? Marry the right person. I couldn't do what I do if I had married someone else.
It would be draining.
Yeah, it's a support system. You're a team. It's a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And that partnership is critical to your success. But that's a whole nother book.
Right. How long have you been married for?
9 years.
How did you know that it was the right person?
Man, I just knew. Isn't that crazy? I just knew. I was one of those, we dated for like 10 months and then we're married.
Wow.
I'm one of those stories. It's like, we dated and like 6 weeks in, it's like, I guess you're probably my husband. I think you are. And just here we are. People thought we were nuts. We're going now on our 10th year.
Wow.
So I was like, I think it worked out.
What's been the key to knowing it's a great fit or it's aligned, and then the key to also sustaining it and making sure it stays that way after 10 years?
The sustaining is that love is not enough.
Gosh, I've been saying that so much lately. Love is not enough.
At all. And you have to make a decision every day to stay married.
Wow.
Marriage is very hard. People don't talk about that. People like to make it look like it's all roses, and it's hard. You show up every day. It's like going to work every single day and choosing to love someone.
Wow.
It's an action. But yeah, love is not enough. Compatibility, chemistry. There's so many different factors here that are important. Mm-hmm. And I wish I could say it's just all about love, and it's not. It's BS.
You guys had all the other stuff, though. You had the
some of it grew over time.
Right.
We're very different. Some of it grew over time. Some of it was, we're very different in these things, and we've got to learn how to live with these differences because no one's changing.
Right. You accept each other.
Yeah.
If you don't accept each other, it's going to be miserable. So you
Agreed.
accept it or leave, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
And so we made the choice, okay, we're going to stay. So as we make that choice every day, what does that look like? What does it mean when you wake up every day to make the choice to fight for your marriage?
Wow.
You're fighting for your marriage even when the marriage is great.
right.
Every day you wake up, you're fighting for your marriage. Love's not enough.
It was not enough. I've been saying that. That's a good sign. I want to acknowledge you, Nicole, for a moment for your gifts, for everything you've done to overcome from.
Thank you.
Getting food at 8 and 9 that's helped you and your brother, to forging a driver's license, to just doing whatever it takes to survive and to thrive and to be an example for other people. I acknowledge you for making the big risk, taking the risk to leave something that you've been comfortable with for a long time, which is probably not hard to leave, and to go all in on something that you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge you, even though maybe you wanted to do it sooner, you did it at the right time for you.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge you for not beating yourself up. It's like a lot of us beat ourselves up for things we didn't do, we should have done, and you're just like, it's the right timing, it needed to happen this way. I acknowledge you for allowing me to try to bring out of you the things that might be lacking, that could support you, that could take you to the next level, because that's part of my mission, is to help serve people get to their next level. So I acknowledge you for saying you're committed to this, and I'm going to check in on you.
Please do.
So, yeah, everything you're up to, I'm really excited about it, and it's been great to meet you, yes.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Of course. My final question is, what's your definition of greatness?
Oh man, definition of greatness. Man, wow. I could just write an essay on what does it mean to be great. You know, when I think about greatness, I think about not whether you have what it takes. I believe almost everybody has what it takes. I think people don't think that. I think everybody has what it takes, but it's, will you do what it takes?
Ooh.
And that's the difference. A lot of people listening, you have what it takes, but will you do what it takes to be great? Greatness is doing whatever it takes to get there. I mean, I think continuing to make good decisions financially, right? So knock down the fear. Are you writing that down? Wow, you're holding me accountable.
Taking notes, yeah.
I'm not mad at that. Okay. Taking some risk. I'd say taking more risks, specifically financially, but.
What's the risk you haven't yet fully taken yet?
I mean, I just took the biggest risk.